So, Michael G. Christopher Foundation, thank you so much for this Zoom class provided by your foundation. And thank you, teachers, this morning here in Madagascar and night in America. Thank you for devoting your time to give us some knowledge today. And we are really happy to meet all of you today. And thank you so much for your support, especially Mike, your foundation has been inspiring us and has been developing us. And thank you so much for this Zoom class. I think it will help us more and more. And today we have some students to attend this Zoom class. We have 20 students today, and they're going to stand right here and say something. As we are in listener, we have more students right here speak English, and they want to improve their knowledge. And so thank you so much for your time, and we would like to have your attention when we have the question to be asked. And thank you so much. We have a first student, Niri.
I have a question for you first. What does it mean?
Holy man is a dedication to a god or a religion. So if someone is holy, that means that they have a worship to a certain god or entity, or maybe there's a religion, which is a certain belief. So when you're holy, mean you exercise in your religion, or you exercise into your belief.
What does it mean on about?
About? So
Yes.
about, I can take that one.
Mr. Mouse, I think he said on about, so I think it makes a difference. He said on about.
On about or just about?
Yes, on about.
On about. Well, I was gonna go into about. I'm not sure the difference on about. But basically about, and then Ms. Tucker, you can kind of jump in and add the rest. But about is to concern something. Basically anything that is concerning something else. So if you were going to say something about someone else, that means it's directed at that person. Or if you say something about your sister, or about the farm, or about the phone, it's concerning that subject. So about shows the focus of what it is that you're discussing.
Okay, a little bit in addition to on about, I want to put a little bit more. On about it can also be it's like a phrase. It's not like a word or exact statement. It's kind of like a slang phrase. So on about, that's like when they say, oh, on about that time, or on about whenever something's gonna happen. It's not gonna be the exact time or at the exact place, or on about 6 o'clock, where I'm gonna meet you there. On about 7 o'clock. So around 7 o'clock. Not exactly 7 o'clock, but around 7 o'clock. On about 7 o'clock, I'll meet you there. So it can mean that as well. And then about, like Mr. Mouse said, it's identifying a subject or a thing. It's identifying something. So if you're talking about something, you're talking about a book, or if you're talking about the light, about refers to something.
All right. Okay, let me just give the word to be holy in Madagascar. To be holy means mashina.
Mashina?
Mashina, yes.
Mashina.
Yes. And the word about, let me just give the word about, means Mumba. Mumba mumba.
Mumba mumba.
Yeah, mumba mumba. Yeah, and the word on about. Okay, it can be translated into eu will. Eu will amni. Eu will
El
amni.
quo
Eu
omni.
will. Yeah, eu will amni. For
But
example, on about 7 p.m., eu will amni feito. 7 is feito.
okay, very good. Thank you.
Okay. Yeah, we have the next student, Karten.
Hello, teachers. My name is Kata. I'm from Madagascar, Portugal. I've got a question to ask you. What's the definition of leadership?
Sure. So basically, leadership, I think we did this one of our previous classes. So leadership, remember, is the act of leading a group or to lead an organization. And the way that we had discussed it is to think about leadership in the same way how you think about a captain of a ship. So if you have a captain of a ship, they're the captain. Everyone listens to them in the same way how if you're a leader, whether you're a president, a prime minister, a teacher, or any other position that has a role of authority, you have leadership over the people that are in that organization or group. So that is leadership.
What is the synonym of engrossed?
So gross basically just means something that is disgusting or nasty, repulsive. So something that you don't like. So anything that you don't like that you just find absolutely repulsive would be considered gross. And so just think of just anything that you just wouldn't like to see is gross.
Okay. And that's the meaning of gross. I want to add because I did actually find the actual spelling of the word he's asking for. And it's an adjective, and it says having all one's attention or interest observed by someone or something. So engrossed to me would mean that it's someone that's taking all the attention, that someone wants to have the front. They want to do all the talking. They want to have all the attention on them. They want all eyes to be on them. Engrossed means someone who wants to have all the attention on them.
Okay, give it up. Alright, so I can just give the word leadership. I think we gave it the last time, but I'd like to give it again. Leadership is Pitarihan.
Say it one more time.
Pitarihana.
Ooh, that's a long one. Could you spell it?
Okay, Fitarehana.
Binyarina.
Pitarihana.
Bidarina. Okay. Thank you.
And the word gross, what you have explained, I think we can just translate it into Michel's.
What's the word,
Yeah,
choice?
Michel.
Michelle Shea?
Yeah.
Exactly.
Oh yeah, we have the next student, Lissia.
Hello, teacher. My name is. I come from Madagascar, before me, and I have two questions for you. My first question is, what's the spelling the verb to drill.
To drill.
To drill.
Okay. I'll take that one. A drill is a noun. It's an item. So to drill is the item is a hand tool. It's a power tool that you use to like put things together to drill in a screw or something like that. So to drill is a hand tool or a power tool with a rotating cutting tip or a rotating tip, like I say, a screwdriver to screw in. So that's the meaning of the noun to drill, an item. To drill can also be as a slang word, meaning that someone is drilling you, or they're drilling you, or you're being drilled, meaning someone is yakking at you. They're just talking a lot of madness to you. They're just drilling you, or maybe your parent is drilling you because you did not do your laundry, and your parent is drilling you. Your mom is constantly, you didn't do the laundry. She's drilling you. So as like a slang word, it's like an argumentative type thing. But as a noun, then it's an item that you use to screw things.
And can I also add to that as well? There's also the use of the word drill in terms of a military drill. So to drill, basically an act like if the military if a sergeant was to drill his soldiers, he's having them do a repeated task over and over again. So basically they're doing a drill where maybe they have to run from one side to the other side over and over. So they're doing a drill in that way. And I know he said that it's a noun as the actual tool, but you can use drill as a verb as well. And that's basically to say it's doing that process of creating some type of hole in something by the use of the tool, which is a drill. So it's a confusing one because it's a noun and a verb, and then the verb is describing what the noun is. But just remember, basically, when you hear the word drill, you're thinking anything that's rotating that creates a hole or a circle.
I understand. That's my second question. What's the meaning of surrender?
Surrender. Basically, surrender basically means if you've ever seen a TV show where they wave the white flag, or where you maybe have two armies fighting, and one of the armies, they give up, or they say, we can't fight any longer. Or if you have a boxer, two boxers, one of the boxers says, I can't fight any longer. So basically, it's just to stop resisting to your opponent. So any type of competition, any type of antagonist that you or you're seeing someone be up against, to give up basically means that. So the phrasing give up means to surrender. So imagine when you give, but then you're giving it up, that basically means surrender, or you don't want to participate anymore, or you're allowing your opponent to win. And that can be from anything from military to sports to a game of chess. If you surrender, you're allowing your opponent to win that game.
I understand.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much. The word surrender, I think Jean is kind of hard like to give in Madagascar word, but I can just give like surrender in Madagascar. Surrender means manulu tena. Manulu tena.
Manunu Dena.
Yeah, manulu tena.
Manunu Dena.
Oh yeah, we have the next student. Socrates.
Hello, teachers. My name is Brad.
Between jobs is basically you have one job and you're working it and then you get fired or you quit that job and you don't have another job right now. You're in between jobs. You're out looking for jobs. You're looking for work every day. So if someone say, "Where do you work?" You say, "I'm in between jobs right now." You're looking for a job. You're not working the last job, but you haven't yet got a new job yet. You're in between jobs.
Is what those around you say about you, particularly when you aren't there. So there's a lot of different uses of reputation. A lot of people say reputation is something you should protect with your life. And a simple way to remember reputation is to ask, what will the community think? What will the community say? What does your family say? These are all parts of your reputation based on the actions and the decisions that you make as an individual, which will affect how people see and perceive you.
I think the word between jobs in Madagascar is mitati asha. Mitati.
Mitadi.
Mitati asha.
Asha.
Mitati asha.
Mitati asha. And the word reputation in Malagasy, I think there is no real word in Malagasy, but you can just say reputation is Sabacha Afatarna Ano. I think that's a long word.
That's a lot. That's a whole sentence.
Afatarna Afatarna.
Fatality.
Afatarna Ano.
Fatality Anot.
That's it. Yeah. So that is a reputation.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay, so we have next student, Rodriguez. Hello, teacher.
Hello.
So I'm very happy to be here. My name is Rodri. I am from Madagascar, student of photography. I have two questions for you. So, first my question, what does it mean of robber?
A robber is someone who commits a robbery. A robbery is something that's committed where if someone takes something from someone. If someone was to take your wallet, they robbed you for your wallet. If someone was to break in your house, they robbed you for whatever it was they took out your house. So a robber would be the person who did the robbing.
Can I also add to that? So
Yes.
When you think of robbing, there's two other words you can associate as well. One is stealing. So someone who steals from you or steals, takes away is one. So anyone who's stealing, they're also a robber. And then thief, someone who's thieving, or a thief, someone who takes away, is also another word. So you can associate stealing, thief, and robbing all together.
Like, I got it. Second thing is, so what is the position of stand up?
It's two words put together, so it's a compound word. Stand for one and then out. But to stand out is to project something from a surface or something that you can see more than the other. Like, for an example, you're standing in front of the class right now. So you stand out before the camera. You stand out. So to stand out is something that projects higher or projects more than something else.
All right, so the word robber in Malagasy. older brother, Pajuba. Pajuba.
Patuba.
NPA. NPADROBA. Pajuba.
I wrote the spelling down. The spelling do not look like the enunciation.
Yeah, it's a
I have to practice. Okay, I got you though.
yeah. And the word stand out. Stand out.
Stand out.
Yeah. Malagash, you translate it to Niabaka. Niabaka.
Diaba.
Niabaka.
I need the spelling. If you can give me the spelling, teacher.
Okay. M-I-A-B-A-K-A.
Okay. Miabra.
All right, next student. Dina.
Guys, my name is Lina. I'm from Madagascar. I have two questions. What does it mean to achieve?
All right.
Nice.
So to achieve basically means to meet a goal or to meet some type of task that you have for yourself. So if you wanted to be the fastest runner or you wanted to be the best football player and you win the championships, you have achieved this goal of what you said you wanted to do. Or if you graduate from high school, you achieve the goal of graduating. Or if you graduate from college, you achieve the goal of graduating from college. You know, all of these things are goals that take time and effort, and at the end of it, you achieve them. I can't hear you.
The word is to emphasize.
Emphasize. Okay. Emphasize basically means to draw attention to something specific. And so that can be in a multitude of ways. You can emphasize something by something that you're wearing. You can emphasize something by the way that you say it through your intonation. But generally, just remember, emphasize correlates with importance or value. So giving special importance or value to something, typically in speaking or writing, or you can emphasize it particularly when you're speaking. So for example, I wanted to emphasize the word dog. I would say, I have a dog. You know how you notice how I said it in a slow way because I'm emphasizing it. It's almost like bolding or underlining that word. So emphasize, just remember importance and or value is what you're trying to convey with that.
Next student, we have Martin.
Martin. Hello, Martin.
I have two questions. The first question is, what's the difference between afraid and fear?
One, afraid is the feeling of fear or anxiety, but so you have to you have to feel fear first, and fear is the unpleasant type of emotion that's caused by the belief that somebody or something is dangerous. So when something is dangerous, then you become afraid. So being afraid is having the substance of fear, but the fear comes first. So first, the fear is there. There's something. There's an animal in the forest. So the fear comes first, And then once you actually, that's when you hear the sounds, you get the fear. But when you actually see the animal, then you become afraid because you see it. At first, the fear is there. Oh my goodness, something's there. But when you see it, you become afraid. So the fear comes first, and then afraid follows. So that would be the difference. But they're kind of two in the same thing. To be afraid of something is to fear it. And like it says, it's the feeling of fear or anxiety. To be afraid is the feeling of fear and anxiety.
Second question is what the meaning of snore? Snore.
Snorkel. Snorkel.
Yes.
Okay. So the meaning for snorkel, and this is probably popular in Madagascar, it's actually two things. It's a noun. A snorkel is a tube that swimmers use to breathe through while they keep their face underwater. So basically, it's a breathing apparatus that allows them to go underwater and see and look at the different fish and the underwater environment while still being able to breathe because they have the tube attached to the air. But there's also the verb to go snorkeling. So not snorkel, but snorkeling means that whole process that I just described. So when sometimes you'll see on the beach, people will be advertising snorkeling. You can come snorkel. And essentially means they'll take you out and you can go look underwater as part of this whole process and have that tube, be part of that. So snorkel essentially just means a tube to breathe, and then snorkeling is an act of doing that, as whether you're paying for it or what. But basically, it's the noun and the verb.
I want to add a little bit on that too when it comes to snorkel. Snorkel can also be a phrase that's commonly used amongst peers and family. A snorkel is like a laugh. You're over snorkeling. They're over there snorkeling in the corner. So they're chuckling and laughing in the corner or something like that. So snorkel can also be a slang word for laughter. Welcome.
Okay, I think I can just give the word afraid and fear. Fear. Fear is taucha. Taucha.
Voucher with a B?
Yeah, taucha. Fear. So T-A-H-O-T-R-A.
Oh, Tautra. Tautra.
T-R-A. And afraid is ma tautra. So tautra plus M, like M-A-T-A-H-O-T-R. Ma tautra. That is a phrase.
Okay.
All right, so we have next student, Florence.
Hello, teachers. My name is
Hello.
Florence. Yeah, my name is Florence. I'm from Madagascar, Portugal. Yeah, I have two questions to ask. My first question is, what the meaning of to handle? To handle.
To handle?
Yeah.
Okay. So to handle, what I'm hearing is basically this. To handle is how do you say, you think of your hands, but it doesn't necessarily have to be restricted to your hands. The same, because it comes from the root word hand, right? Handle. So first you think of like, okay, managing something with your hand, whether that's your glasses, you handling it, but really to handle, it's larger than just what you can do with your hands. It means to manage something larger. So to handle a situation, to handle a problem, you manage that problem, you manage that situation to your desired outcome. So the root is coming from the basic, just handling something with your hands, handle, to basically now taking that and handling something larger. So maybe a prime minister or a president, they may handle big problems every day, not with their hands, but with their minds and themselves, and they're managing these different issues.
Hellas. Rulers.
Behoove.
Ruthless. Rulers. To be rulers.
All right.
Ruler.
All right. So the word is ruthless.
Ruthless. Ruthless.
Okay, ruthless is a word that's I would like to say mannish, and so ruthless is like somebody that is very aggressive. They're without limits. They're ruthless. They'll handle anything. They're ruthless. They're tough. So ruthless will be like a person that's tough or can handle things, handle situations, handle people, a ruthless person. You have anything else to go with that, Mr. Miles?
Yes, I think when you think about ruthless, a good way to think about it is basically someone who doesn't have mercy in their dealings. You know, there's someone who's very one track minded. So think no mercy, no pity, no compassion for how they're being dealt with something. So maybe someone who's a highly ambitious individual, they may be ruthless, or someone when someone attacks, you know, a neighboring village, you know, maybe the attack was ruthless. You know, there's no compassion, there's no sympathy, there's no pity. It was ruthless. So when you think about it, I would think about ruthless in two ways. Basically, one, in terms of attack or something like this. That's how the attack was. It was ruthless. And then two, in someone's behavior, particularly when they're trying to ascend or go higher in an organization or in life, they may be a ruthless person that doesn't have sympathy or compassion for those around them.
Yeah, thanks. And the Madagascar to handle means Mandrayantanana.
Andrayantanana.
That's ruthless. Madagascar.
Yeah, in the Madagascar, to be ruthless, Chimande Picha.
Timandamencha.
Mande Picha.
Yeah, you're good. I didn't try.
Yeah, thanks.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you. Give it up. All right, excellent, Dylan. Can you hear, teacher?
Hi.
Good morning, teachers. My name is Dylan. I come from Madagascar, and I'm happy to see you again because we're learning English once a week, and I think that's not enough. And I'm gonna ask you a question. I've got a question for you. And my first question is what is the definition of nutcase?
Nutcase.
Yes.
Yes. Okay. So thank you. So nutcase is a slang word. You wouldn't use this word in big meetings or if you're meeting important people or even speaking to your elders. I don't think you would use the word nutcase. But nutcase basically has the connotation of someone who's unhinged, someone who is mentally unwell. You may associate them with crazy or or something like this, but basically someone who's mentally is not all the way there, is the word you would use for that.
Yes, I understand. Thank you. And my next question is, what does it mean to contribute?
To contribute, Ms. Tucker.
Yes.
To contribute means to take part in a giving. So, or not just a giving, but to contribute means to give in your time and your ability. Like you want to contribute your time and to help and do your chores at home, or you want to contribute your time into doing your work. To contribute means to apply to something. So you want to contribute. They're having a dinner at your school, and you want to contribute by bringing your favorite dish that you can cook at home. You want to contribute to the cause. You contribute to the English Learning Center by thinking of 2 questions to ask when you go before the instructors. You contribute to the program.
Yes, thank you, my teachers. And see you next week.
Bye-bye. Yes, see you next week. He just dismissed everybody.
Okay, the word nutcase. Nutcase in Madagascar. CLO.
CLO.
C-O-O.
Everybody know that one.
Or I can say Ola Mola. Okay, and the next contribute. All right, so to contribute, we can say Antayanzara.
Say that one more time.
Antayanzara.
Could you spell it, teacher?
Okay, M-A-N-D-R-A Y N-A-N-T.
Oh, Mantrea. Mantrea.
Manjai.
Mantrea. Okay.
Okay, so
thank you.
Words. Next student.
Hello teachers, my name is Stewart. I'm part of the student here in listener of Madagascar. I got 2 questions for us. The first is, what's the main puzzle?
It's basically it's 2 things. One, it can actually be a board game with different pieces that you have to put together and figure out how they fit to complete the picture. The second is a puzzle could just be a metaphor for a hard problem or a hard situation. So maybe it's a puzzle in the way that you're seeing this situation in your life, and then to solve it would be to be solving the puzzle of that. So wait, there's another way I want to say this as well. You can also use it as a verb. So if someone or something happens that is confusing, it may be puzzling, or you may be puzzled by their acts. So let's say someone is a nutcase, and you might be puzzled by their behavior and what they're doing. So that's one. So there's basically 3 things, right? So we have to be puzzled, or to be puzzled in reaction to something because you don't understand it. You have the game, or the board game, which is an actual puzzle that you're putting together the pieces, or you have a situation which you may consider a puzzle itself. So maybe the situation of figuring out how you're going to get from downtown to your school because you missed the bus. this is now a puzzle for you because you have to find a solution. So there's 3 different ways that you can think about puzzle, but all of them have to do with essentially being confused and figuring out how to take that confusion and find a solution towards it that makes sense.
My second question is, what does mean outstanding? Outstanding.
Outstanding. Outstanding is another word for exceptionally good. Something outstanding is very, very good. It's kind of beyond perfect. It's outstanding. It can't get any better than that. Outstanding, great, perfect. Is that good for you?
Yeah, I really appreciate you.
Okay, thank you so much, Didra. All right, so I can just leave the word outstanding. I already get it, stand out, but I think it's a kind of different because outstanding can be sure.
Sure.
Or sure.
Yeah, like fancy, like sharp, huh? Outstanding.
Yes.
Okay,
Perfect.
sure. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so we have next student, Richard.
Okay.
Hello, teachers. My name is Richard.
Hello.
I'm from Madagascar. I'm student at English for the fun. Yes, I have 2 questions for you. First, yes. What does it mean wealthy?
So wealthy, I think we did this one before as well, is associated with money. So to have a lot of money is typically what people associate with wealth. To have a lot of resources or valuables is what people associate with wealth. But wealthy, you can also have wealth in the sense of just having an abundance of. So you can have wealth of knowledge, you can have wealth of health, you can have wealth of information. So there's really 2 ways to think about wealthy. One is the one that's purely focused on money, monetary, material, and the other is just thinking about it in general in terms of having an abundance of something, to have a wealth of information, to have a wealth of knowledge, to have a wealth of love, a wealth of family. All of these things can be considered wealthy as well, or can be considered wealth as well.
Okay, thank you. Second question. What is the definition of squeeze?
Squeeze.
Yes.
The definition of squeeze would be to hold tightly or to grasp tightly. To squeeze means, basically that, just to grab something tightly is to squeeze it. And then another word for squeeze as a slang would be like where a boyfriend and a girlfriend, he would say, "This is my main squeeze." He would call his girlfriend his main squeeze. So the regular word squeeze has to do with holding objects tightly or holding someone's hand tight. You're holding my hand so tight, you're squeezing it. To squeeze something is to hold tightly. Oh, and in addition to that, you can also, it's not just to hold. Squeeze, you can also be squeezed into a little place. You can be squeezed, like I say, into a little place, you can put in objects, you're squeezing objects into a little place. So squeeze is not only just to hold something tightly, you yourself can be squeezed in.
What does it mean? What is the definition of squeeze?
Okay, so yes, squeeze is to hold tight. It's to hold tightly, and As a slang, squeeze would be like where some people say a gentleman would say his girlfriend is his main squeeze. So as a slang, squeeze would be referring to a male's girlfriend. But the word squeeze is to hold tightly, or maybe things can be squeezed in. So if there's a lot of people in a classroom, you may have to squeeze into the classroom. So it's not just about holding something tightly. You may have to squeeze into a classroom or something of that nature. So squeeze is something being pressed in very tightly, is to squeeze. Is that good for you?
Can you give one example?
Yeah, the class.
I told them to let go of my hand because they were squeezing my hand too tight. So squeeze is to hold tight. It's to squeeze something. If you squeeze it, you squeeze it. It's like that art is to push together. You squeeze into, you get squeezed in. A lot of people in the room have to squeeze in real close. So everyone squeeze in the classroom, squeeze in together. Come on, squeeze in tight for the picture. So things like that would be examples.
Okay, thank you. Squeeze in Madagascar. She has.
Well, yeah, you can squeeze your brush, but you'll just hold your brush tight because you can't squeeze it because it's solid. You have to be able to squeeze and have to be able to give in. So you can't really squeeze your brush because it's solid. You can hold your brush tight.
Okay, thank you, my dear friends. Keep it up to me.
Okay, so we have next student, Cristoline.
Hello, teachers. My name is Christine. I'm from Madagascar. I have a question for you. First, what does mean of beyond me?
Can I get assistance?
Beyond me.
Beyond,
beyond
me.
me.
Beyond me. Go ahead, Mr. Mouse. You want to take that?
Sure. So beyond me, I think it's a slang term. I've heard it used, a phrase, in a couple different ways. So beyond me basically means it's something that's not of your understanding. If it's beyond you, you can't understand it. It's not something that you can really understand. Another way that can be used is beyond you, it's beyond me. It's not something that you have the ability to change. People who are above you in position are the ones who have the ability to do that. So, for example, if you worked for someone and you said it was beyond me, most likely it's your boss or your employer who would have to solve that problem and not you. But this isn't that common a phrase. And I don't know when it would be necessarily correct to use this. I think there's some other ways you could communicate this without saying beyond me. It kind of has a meme culture associated with it. So this isn't a phrase that I would recommend using all that often.
Next question. What does mean of
behind bars? Behind bars is not a word with a definition, so it's a statement with a meaning. So behind bars would institute arrest. You're arrested, you're in jail, you're locked up, or you retained by law officers. So behind bars would basically mean you're in jail or prison. Did you understand?
One example.
Oh, an example. If you let me see. An example. All of the robbers that got caught stealing from the local market are gonna all end up behind bars. Okay.
Okay, so the word behind bars, I think I can just skip that. Behind bars is gaja.
One more time, please.
Gaja.
Gaja. Gaja.
Okay, so we have next student, Dosian.
Come on.
Hello, teachers. My name is Bosniak. I'm from Madagascar in Portugal. I have two questions for you. The first, what is the definition of to be arrogant?
Okay, arrogant is a word that's basically identifying a person that is self-centered, or they have a self-sense of importance. They think so highly of themselves. They feel like they're more important than anyone else. An arrogant person thinks of themselves higher than other people's. Do you understand?
Yes. Okay. And the second is, what does it mean? Complicate.
Complicate is to make something more difficult or to make something confusing. To complicate a situation is to make it harder than what it is. It makes it confusing or makes it complex. It's just complicating. So to complicate something is to make it difficult or confusing.
Thank you. I understand.
You're welcome.
Okay, so the word arrogant. So the word arrogant means me with. Me able.
Deal with.
Me able. Me able.
Okay. You got to work on that one. Yes, we'll work on that one.
Yeah, and the word to complicate is manashata.
Manashata.
Yes. Manashata.
Manashata.
Yeah. Okay, we have the last student, Julien.
All right, finish strong.
Yeah, you did. Thanks for hanging in there.
Hello, teachers. My name is Julien. I'm from Madagascar, Portugal. I have two questions for you. What does mean of down and out? Down and out.
So down and out is another slang term that you would use basically to describe a couple different things. So I think it actually originates from like the 1970s or so, but to be down and out basically means to be impoverished. Down and out means you don't have money, you don't have access to money, you're not working. So this person is down and out, you know, think of it, you know, they may not necessarily be homeless, you know, but they're close to being homeless. You know, that's another slang term that you can use with your friends and things, but don't use this phrase, you know, in your big conversations or when you're talking to elders or things like that. You know, this is something you can say with your friends, jokey, but this isn't a common phrasing either. It's also older. It's down and out.
Thank you. My second question. What is this mean all to hide?
To hide is just basically to put something out of sight, to put it where no one else can find it. So you hide it so no one can find it. So it's just to basically put something out of sight from anyone else?
Yeah, so the word down and out is Mahaja.
Mahaja. Down and out. Mahaja.
Yeah, and the word to hide is Manafina.
Manafla.
Manafina.
Manafina. F-R-S.
Okay, so now we are running out of students. We don't have any more to come up here, and as like we did last week, so they're gonna come up here and say something why they so how they find this program, and they're gonna have thanking to thank all the teachers and the Christopher G. Michael Foundation. Yeah, so they're gonna come up here and say something a little bit to you guys, and yeah, so we would like to have your attention. Yes. Describe like what okay. Paano po rin kita po ng class hanapin mo siya ang sura niya.
Okay. Thank you, teachers, at program of class. Thank you, teachers, at program of class, because the program of class helped me to grasp this. And thank you so much. God bless you. See you, teachers.
Give it up.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Now, thank you, teacher, for this platform of class, because I think there is an improve our my skill. Thank you, teacher.
Give it up.
Thank you. I enjoy seeing you in class.
Yeah, thank you for giving us the good class, because I think when we are doing it every day, maybe our English is getting good for today, and thank you and yeah, thanks. Yeah, see you next week again, and good night.
Yes. Nice. Thank you. Thank you.
Yes, thank you for delivering your time to that, because I'm truly happy to see you again, because we really once a week, and I appreciate it, and I can improve my English better. Yes, I can improve my pronouns better. Okay, thank you, teacher. See you next week.
Give it
You're
up.
welcome. Thank you. Appreciate y'all. You're welcome.
Okay, it's time for you to share how fast about English. No, no, we don't know how can improve my English. So I think by some class we can improve my all English better, so that we can speak English better. Very good. Thank you for it. Yeah.
Thank you. Give it up.
Done.
Come on, Luke. Okay, thank you, teacher, for everything. I think that English is similar to English, similar to this trip.
Give it up.
Thank you, teacher, for giving us this classroom, because it makes my English better. And thank you, I appreciate it.
Give it up.
Well done.
Yeah.
Thank you, teacher, for this class, because we're amazing.
I think that the class now called classes can be about my study. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you, teacher, for this program, because I can improve my English and that helps me to learn English. Thank you.
Give it up. Yeah, thank you so much, teachers. Yes, Mike? We would like to hear from you.
All right. So thank you all. Thank you all again for another great class. I think this was an amazing class as always. I'll just encourage you just to keep practicing, whether that's watching YouTube, watching TV, watching movies, just keep practicing your English and practice with each other. And yeah, happy to be a resource for you all. And hopefully I can see you all, next, well, not this next week, but the week after that. So yeah, keep up the great work. Thank you so much.
Good.
Well,
Yeah, thank you so much, Mr. Miles. Great job, and you've been doing an amazing job. And thank you for your time. And hopefully, we're gonna see you next week again, and we're gonna learn something from you too. Mr. Tucker, we want to hear something from you.
well, I just want to tell you guys I love being here. I appreciate the opportunity from Mr. Christopher J. Michael J. Christopher, for the opportunity to be a part of this English learning experience. I'm truly grateful for the opportunity to do the cross learning, each one teach one, whereas we're able to learn the Madagascar language as well. I thank you for your time and energy with going into the process of the program and helping us to understand the Madagascar language as we advise you guys on the English structure and the English language. I love you guys from afar. I can't wait to meet you guys. And this is a great opportunity. So just as Mr. Miles encouraged you guys, continue to do all you can to embrace yourself with the English communication and continue to study to show yourselves approved.
Thank you so much. Give it up. Yeah, thank you, Mr. Tucker. You're doing a great job too. Hopefully next week we're gonna see you again and learn something from you. Thank you for your time, devotion,